Today we have the latest news, if you want to call it news, from the swamp, otherwise known as Washington, D.C. There's things that are out there right now that show that President Barack Obama, former president, the Muslim in chief, as I used to call him tongue in cheek, because he was so anti-Semitic and so anti-Israel and frankly anti-Christian and anti-white, I might add. The Muslim in chief was obviously intimately involved in the two witch hunts against President Trump, particularly the Russian collusion witch hunt. There's now evidence that came out that was disclosed in the last week that he was conspiring in the Oval Office to take the president down. Now, President Trump has rightly said there should be an investigation of this and probably should give rise to prosecutions, not probably, but should. And he asked the head of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Lindsey Graham, to conduct an investigation and to call Obama to testify. But true to form, and this tells you something about Capitol Hill, it's basically for show, it's not for dough, it's for appearances, it's not for reality. Make a lot of noise, but do nothing. Lindsey Graham is refusing to call Obama in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now, I'm going to be blunt. I'm a civil rights lawyer, and I believe in equal rights for everybody, so I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but it's because Obama is African-American and a former president that he won't be called in front of that committee. And Lindsey Graham, who has his own secrets to hide, and I won't get into that here, everybody knows what they are, doesn't want to expose himself, no pun intended, to blowback. Maybe it is pun intended. And this is something which is symptomatic of Washington, D.C. It's mutual assured destruction among the establishments of both major political parties. They are both corrupt to the core. They both are more interested in stuffing money into their pockets and acquiring power than representing the interests of the American people. And that's why you need a Freedom Watch, whether it's our citizens' grand juries who will hold Obama accountable for these crimes. We will hold the Clintons accountable. We've already held Mueller accountable. He's been indicted and he will be tried once we can convene grand juries after the coronavirus becomes more relaxed in terms of being able to meet. But nothing is going to happen in terms of our Justice Department. Freedom Watch is your Justice Department. And that's a segue into what we're doing with the coronavirus pandemic. You have to go to our website at freedomwatchusa.org, sign up to see if you qualify for our class action lawsuits. We're going to be filing them in more than one place. We already have one in Dallas, Texas, but we also have a lawsuit in Jerusalem, Israel. A lot of the information we're acquiring in both cases is usable in each. And we have our criminal case before the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Holland, and a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit to uncover what the intelligence agencies knew and when they knew it. There's some suggestion that this virus may have even emanated from a military lab at Fort Detrick, Maryland, sent to the Chinese to study. Believe it or not, Obama authorized $3.7 million of taxpayer money to go to that laboratory in Wuhan, China. It's now obvious that that laboratory, run by the communist Chinese regime, manufactured this virus into a pandemic weapon, which is now in the process of destroying the United States and the rest of the world. Great. Our government strikes again. Brilliant. Geniuses. Morons, more like it. So consequently, we need to get to the bottom of what happened when the intelligence agencies knew. They obviously knew from the get-go. They probably did not tip President Trump off on time. They set him up. And he is in dire straits in terms of re-election right now. I don't care if you have the brain-dead Joe Biden or not. He's in office. He's going to get blamed for what's happening right now. And that's why he needs to be much more aggressive with regard to communist China. That's why his attorney general should be ordered, not asked, ordered to support Freedom Watch's class action lawsuits and criminal complaints. But even if they don't, we will do it and are doing it on our own. And that's why you, the American people, need to rise up. We cannot rely on government. I'm not like my former group. When I was there, we did it ourselves. My former group at Judicial Watch, which I founded, gets documents and they ask the government to do things. Government doesn't do anything. So the American people need to do it for themselves. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, sign up for our class actions. See if you qualify, and you probably do if you're an American citizen, and even a permanent resident who lives here. And we'll be filing it in a number of different states, not just Texas. But I also want you to support our criminal case in The Hague, Holland, and our Freedom of Information Act lawsuit to find out what our government knew and when it knew it, and why it didn't properly advise the President of the United States, or if it did, then what exactly was advised, because there need to be heads rolling here. We can't just turn away and say, this is okay, like some senators on Capitol Hill, like Tom Cotton, says, oh, we're not going to do business with the Chinese anymore. Oh, we're going to remove immunity. Well, you know what? What does the government do? Nothing, nada, zip. That's the way it's always been, because the governments of different countries protect each other in the end. And that's why you, the American people, need to rise up. We don't need to pay for the huge amount of damage that has been caused. Our class action lawsuit's asking for over $21 trillion in damage, and that's a minor statistic. And we're asking, in our case in The Hague, Holland, the criminal case, to have these criminals in Beijing, the communist leadership, thrown in prison. If you want a little humor, just yesterday, Bernie Sanders said he doesn't think he's going to run for president again. I sent out a press release, a little commentary. It said, well, you know what? There may be an opening in Beijing, Bernie. Being the communist that you are, you probably fit in really well there. And that's what we're dealing with in this country. A lot of socialist communists, people who want to take this country down. We need to rise up, join Freedom Watch, join our class actions, join our criminal cases, join our citizens' grand juries, and share this webcast, which is a podcast, at iTunes, Spotify, Roku, Amazon Fire, Facebook, Twitter. Get it out far and wide. Sign up to see if you qualify to be a class action plaintiff in our case in Dallas, Texas, and elsewhere. Support our criminal case. And I want to ask you to please do something. Get off the couch, put the popcorn down, turn off Hannity, turn off Fox News, and get to work, because we need to save ourselves. We can't depend on government. God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, join our Justice League, and actually do something. And I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast, Special Prosecutor with Larry Kleeman. Until then, thank you for listening to me.